I got to be honest with you guys. I had no idea that Charles Barkley's CNN show had already debuted. Now, we know he's doing this show with Gayle King. He said the only reason why he would actually go over there to help CNN was because of Gayle King. But apparently, guys, Charles Barkley is not a draw over there at CNN. His show, I believe it debuted last week, has been an absolute flop. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, is watching. Charles Barkley, he is pretty good on Inside the NBA on TNT. He should have stayed there. Now, he's still there doing the NBA, but CNN, nah. These ratings are atrocious, guys. Absolutely atrocious. Charles Barkley jumping into the political lane. I remember back in the 90s, he actually thought about running as the governor of Alabama. He was talking about that for years. Not going to happen, man. Absolutely not going to happen today. I don't think he actually wants to do it anyway. Charles Barkley, he is funny on TV when he's talking about the NBA. But he's over there at CNN. And I believe that CNN has an identity crisis. Because when it comes to woke media, you cannot out-woke MSNBC. You can't do it. Now, of course, conservatives, they're not going to watch CNN. And leftists are watching MSNBC. So what are you, CNN? What are you? This show, a disaster in the ratings. Look at this here on Outkick, guys. The ratings are terrible, as Charles Barkley might say, for his new CNN show. Like I said, guys, I had no idea this show actually debuted. And the ratings are just an unmitigated disaster. Look at here. Charles Barkley's long-awaited CNN program with Gayle King debuted last week to just 501,000, marking one of the lowest rated CNN primetime premieres over the past decade. Yeah, this show is in primetime, and they can only muster 500,000 people to watch it. That's it. But however, this past Wednesday, the show dropped to 466,000. So guys, they lost 40 plus thousand people here in a span of a week. Oh, the name of the show is King Charles. Really? That's the name of the show? Why didn't they actually call it Sir Charles? Because, you know, when Barkley actually played in the NBA, he was known as Sir Charles. But they titled it King Charles? Yeah. Now, this is how bad these numbers are, guys. King Charles, as it's titled, was again non-competitive with his counterparts on Fox News and MSDNC. At 9 p.m., Hannity averaged 1.9 million viewers. And we know that Fox took a hit. I mean, when Tucker was on there, man, Tucker had way more than 1.9 million viewers. Alex Wagner tonight Alex Wagner tonight averaged 1.4 million. I mean, guys, they getting like 1.5 million more than Barkley. Wow. But Bobby Burrat does say here, the flop is not entirely on Barkley and King, two talented TV broadcasters. Hardly anything works on CNN these days. That's true. That is true. The network even tried simulcasting a segment on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher on Fridays, and barely over 500,000 viewers tuned in. Yeah. CNN is a dumpster fire, man. They are struggling. Now, like I said, CNN is not as left as MSDNC. They even mentioned it here. CNN is no longer quite as animated or loyal to the Democrat Party as MSNBC, but still covers Donald Trump with blatant disdain. Yeah, but MSNBC goes over the board. They go overboard on it, on Donald Trump. Rachel Maddow said that that Donald Trump would wants to execute her, I believe. I mean, that's just how crazy it is. Donald Trump isn't executing any Americans. That's not going to happen. I mean, that's how crazy MSDNC is. Wow. And Bobby Burrat does say here, as a result, both liberals and conservatives have better options than CNN. Yeah. Like I said, if you are a super lefty, MSNBC is your place. If you're on the right, you got Newsmax and you have Fox News. I actually prefer Newsmax myself, to tell you the truth. Boy. And then at that, man, you know, CNN doesn't have the star power anymore. Don Lemon's gone. Chris Cuomo's gone. He's over there on News Nation. I mean, they pretty much let go of all of their big names. And that has been a problem. I mean, Charles Barkley, man, Charles Barkley, you cannot miss his mouth. Charles Barkley is a loudmouth, but apparently he's not loud enough for CNN. But being over there, I mean, if they want conservatives to actually watch CNN, you can't do this. Look here. Charles Barkley insults Trump supporters as nutty on CNN. Also says Beijing Biden is too old. Well, saying Beijing Biden is too old, I mean, you're not going to really alienate anybody on that. I mean, far leftists don't like Biden. And of course, you know, they don't like Trump. But if you want more people to actually watch your program, you can't call Trump supporters a group of nutty people. I mean, CNN has been trying to go, you know, MSNBC style, but it's not going to work. It is not going to work, man. I mean, boy, what a flop for Charles Barkley here. I'm wondering, man, how long is Barkley actually going to have this gig on CNN? I mean, with those kind of numbers, man, that's awful. That is awful, man. I mean, really, really bad. I mean, guys, we can get, I mean, we don't get 500,000 people on a video, but we had some videos do pretty good here lately, you know. I mean, we can be competitive with that. But boy, that's really bad right there. That is really bad, man. Charles, let it go, man. Let it go. This show is going to be a massive, massive flop. And I'm going to be curious to see what the ratings are going to be next week. I mean, if there's a bit drop like that from week 1 to week 2, just imagine what next week is going to be like. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.